Good morning students. Once again I welcome you all on online classes of Jamna Christian Junior High School. I am your history teacher. Today students we will start a new chapter. Chapter number 2 and the chapter name is The Industrial Revolution and the Rise of Imperialism. This is on page number 20. Pre-industrial revolution. Today I will tell you about pre-industrial revolution. During the medieval period, agriculture was the main occupation of the people. Everybody was associated with land in some way or the other. The needs of the villagers were simple and few. Whatever they needed was made by the artisan and craft peoples of the villages. Every village was self-sufficient and had its own weavers, blacksmiths, carpenters and other skilled workers. Simple tools were used and goods were made at home with the help of the family members. The finished products were sold to the local communities. This system of production was known as the domestic system. The exploration and discovery of new lands led to an increase in overseas trade and commerce. This in turn led to the growth of towns and cities and emergence of a wealthy middle class. The demand for consumer and luxury items greatly increased. The domestic system could not cope with this growing demand. The method of production were inadequate and too slow. An improved system became the need of the hour. Internally, a modified and more effective system evolved. It was called the putting out system, under which merchants put on or supplied the raw materials to the artisan and later sold the finished products in distant market. The artisan worked either as their own home or at a workshop outside their home. The domestic workers received from the merchant the payment or wages for their labor. This system was a precursor to the factory system that followed. Now I will tell you Industrial Revolution. The expansion of trade in the 17th and 18th century forced European manufacturers to improve the way they produce goods. As a result of a better method of production, an economic revolution started in England around 1750. This came to be known as the Industrial Revolution. Before the Industrial Revolution, textiles and other products used to be produced in the homes of craft people with simple tools that they made themselves. In the new system, most things were produced by machines in factories. There was thus a massive increase in the quality of goods produced. The new development brought on by the Industrial Revolution greatly influenced the course of modern history. This great and radical transformation in industry, which fundamentally altered all the methods, techniques, and organizations of production and distribution, is known as the Industrial Revolution. Now the next point is features of the Industrial Revolutions. The main features of the Industrial Revolution were as follows. 1. The domestic system of production was replaced by the factory. Second, manual labor was replaced by machines. Third, small scale production gave way to large scale production. Large scale mass product manufactures of goods was carried on its factories instead of the homes of the artisans. Power driven machines replaced simple tools. These factories, including the resources and the means of production, were owned by rich merchants known as capitalists or people who owned the capital. Causes of the Industrial Revolution in England. The English Revolution that took place between 1640 and 1660 limited the power of the monarchy and put the English Parliament under the control of the traders and manufacturers. Trade prospered and rapid economic progress began to be made in England. As a result of the booming trade, an enormous amount of wealth accumulated in England. A large part of this was spent on inventing new machines that improved production and on the development of factories. Several new machines were invented. These machines revolutionized the goods were made and contributed to the industrial revolution. The easy availability material needed by industries like coal and iron helped the growth of industries like iron steel in North England. The new factories and industries that were coming up required an abundant supply of cheap labor. This was provided by the agriculture workers who had migrated to the cities and towns in search of jobs. These workers have been rendered jobless when farmers started using machines to till the land and harvest the crops, jobs traditionally done by the agriculture workers. Surplus capital. There were a number of factories that paved the way to the Industrial Revolution in England. Surplus capital, economic growth, and an increased overseas trade led to accumulation of enormous wealth in England. This surplus capital was used in the development of new industries and in setting up of new factories. Stable government. Politically stability in England provided conditions that were favorable for economic growth. Next point is agriculture revolution. There was an agriculture revolution that preceded the industrial revolution. This was due to consolidation of land holding through the enclosures, improvement in agriculture method, such as rotation of crops and the introduction of new farming machinery, which increase agriculture production. Next point is availability of cheap labor. The mechanization of agriculture led to large scale unemployment of farmers who migrated to towns and cities in search of jobs and were ready to work in factories in low wages. The enclosure movement had led to the takeover of land by rich landlords, and so the small landless farmers also migrated to towns and cities in search of employment in factories. They provided a readily available pool of cheap labor. Next point is availability of coal and iron. Coal and iron, the two essential resources necessary for the growth of industries, were available in abundance in northern England. Many industries, towns, and cities were located in this region. I will tell you some major inventions now. Political and social stability in England created conditions that were conducive to creativity. The first phase of industrial revolution was based on machinization of the cotton industries, and Lancashire became the center of the cotton industry. This was followed by further revolutionary inventions. New machines such as Hargreaving's spinning jenny, John Kay's flying shuttle, Arkwright's water frame, Cartwright's power room, and Ellie Whitney's cotton gin improved the textile industries. Newcomb's Cummins pumps and James Watt's steam engine using steam power and Davy's safety lamp help extract coal from the coal mines and increase the production of coal and iron. So students, these are some names of the famous uh, machineries men who had made these machines, like John Kay's flying shuttle, Arkwright's water frame, Cartwright power loom, and Ellie Whitney's cotton gin improved the textile industries. They all improved the textiles industries. Steam engine was made by James Watt. These are the few names. And there was a need for better transport facilities and communications. George Stephenson steam locomotive, John Macadams made building road building techniques, Thomas Edison's made incandescent lamp, Graham Bell's made telephone, and Marconi's made telegraph were some invention in the field. They all invented these things. Did you know in the early 18th century, English iron maker Abraham Darby discovered how to make iron using coal, which was more easily available than wood. This led to the rapid growth in the production of iron, which was used to make tools and machinery. Darby's sons constructed the first iron bridge over the River Severn in West Britain. Now, the next point is naval supremacy. Backed by a powerful navy, the strongest in the world, England had acquired a large number of colonies. These colonies were used as suppliers of cheap raw materials and as ready markets for finished products. This stimulated industry's growth. Now, next point is spread of industrial revolution. The industrial revolution then began in England was not a single event but continuing process which went through different phases and spread to different countries at different times. Machinized industries were introduced in France, Germany, USA, and Japan. Germany made rapid progress after its unification. It is on 1871 and become one of the leading industrial nations in Europe. Britain gradually lost its lead by the end of the 18th century. The USA also surged ahead of Britain and made major progress in iron and steel industry. It soon became one of the leading industrial nation in the world. Industrialization in Russia was very slow but picked up after the Russian Revolution in 1917. Japan was the first Asian country to become industrialized. Now the next point is impact of industrial revolution. Before the Industrial Revolution, India was one of the most economically advanced country in the world. Its textiles and handicraft were world's famous. However, after it became a colony of Britain in the 19th century, its industries were destroyed under British rule. India was forced to export agriculture, raw material, and import factory made goods from Britain. This ruined the handicraft industry in India. There were, however, certain benefits that India derived from the Industrial Revolution. For instance, electricity was introduced to the country, which improved transport and communication. The building of roads and railways improved communication and helped the growth of Indian's industry in 20th century. The Industrial Revolution radically changed the entire fabric of Western society. The transformation was so profound that condition of life changed beyond recognition. First point is in this economic impact and urbanization. The Industrial Revolution led to the growth of many towns and cities where factories were set up. People from the villages began to migrate to these industries, towns, and cities in search of job. The shifting of population from rural to urban areas was an important development of the Industrial Revolution. Next point is factory system. The Industrial Revolution led to the destruction of the domestic system of production. Workers went to work in factories and machine made goods were manufactured on a large scale. The work was divided between people according to their capability and ability. Next point is division of labor. One of the characteristic feature of the industries revolution was the division of labor. Either each person or a group of people performed a specialized task. Next point is capitalism and economic disparity. The Industrial Revolution led to the concentration of wealth in the hands of capitalists, a few rich people who owned the means of production, capital. The vast majority of workers were employed by the capitalists in their factories and worked under them for wages. The workers were exploited by the capitalistic and lived in poverty and misery. So, in that time, some of the workers lived in poverty and misery. They worked on daily basis. There was a wide gulf between the rich capitalistic and the poor workers. Wide gulf between the rich capitalists and the poor workers. The capitalistic were thus the haves, while the workers were the haves not. Economic inequality led to the social inequality, which eventually led to the growth of socialism. The advent of machines led to a lot of people losing their jobs as fewer people were required to produce the same goods. Unemployment gave rise to a general anger against machines. Next point is expansion of trade and commerce. Large scale of production of goods led to the expansion of trade and commerce. Surplus goods were sold to other countries, increasing profit made by the industrialized nation rich and prosperous. Trade also expanded because steamships were being used, which were superior to the earlier ships. As production increased further, these nations began to look for new markets for the sale of finished products. This in turn led to competition among the European nations to acquire colonies in distant lands. These colonies would be used not only as ready market for manufactured good but also as constant supplier of raw material for the industries. Colonial rivalry between industrialist countries led to the First World War. Now, the next point is socialism. Socialism was a reaction to the evils of capitalism. Socialism is a system under which there is no private ownership of capital. People in a socialist setup would not be divided into rich and poor classes. The means of production is owned by society as a whole, and everybody would work and share equally the profits, either the fruits of their labor. Thus, exploitation would be wiped out and a classless society based on economic and social equality would be established. So, students, here we stop the chapter, and next class I will tell you much more about this. Thank you. Have a nice day.